Okay, hello mọi người. So today I want to help you practice listening about working in an office. So I want to tell you the story of the time I worked as an intern at my dad's company. And this was a few years ago. So this was my first desk job. And what a desk job is it's where you work and you sit at a desk all the time. And there are kind of a lot of mixed feelings about desk jobs. There are a lot of people that say, oh, I don't want to get stuck at a desk job for my entire life. And then other people are like, I just want a nice, cushy desk job. And I think it just depends on the person. For me, I don't know if I really love working at a desk job. So this was about 3 years ago when I was studying advertising and kind of thinking about what I want to do for my future career. So my dad, he found me this opportunity to work at his company doing marketing internship. And I was lucky enough to be able to have this internship be a paid internship because a lot of the time internships are not paid. People will have you work just so you can get experience in the field and you can put it on your resume. And the resume is kind of all of your work experience, all of your skills, all of the things that a potential employer might want to see and want to know that you can do before they hire you. So a resume is important to have when you go for a job interview. For me, I didn't need a job interview because my dad was a good reference and they were just looking for someone that wanted to get experience. So I came into the office and I got my own desk. I had this little desk in a cluster of desks. And at this company, they didn't have cubicles, where cubicles have like walls, so you're kind of separated out from other people. But here, it wasn't like that. It was just a desk here and then a desk right next to it, and we were all just kind of working together in a big group, which I kind of liked. It was fun to be able to work with people that are really skilled at what they do and people that have worked in this field for a really long time. I think my favorite part about having a desk was not that I had a desk, but that I had a nice office chair. And I think that's one of the funnest things on the planet is you've got this chair and it's got all the padding and the cushioning, and then you can rock back and forth in it. And it's super fun. It's super comfortable. And it also has wheels on it. So you can spin and you can roll. Oh, man. That was one of my favorite things, was playing around in the chair. But aside from playing around at work, I did have responsibilities that I had to take care of. And there were things that they were teaching me as far as how to run a business on the marketing side. So before starting this internship, I had pretty much no idea what marketing did other than trying to reach out to customers or clients and figure out how to help them connect with the business and buy more product. So for me, it was an interesting learning experience where I found out that marketing is more than just that. It's about how do we promote this product? How do we build relationships with our consumers? How do we help people keep buying and have a good experience with our product? Which meant I had to do a lot of work where I was dealing with client profiles, where it had all their information as well as ways to contact them. So I would be writing up emails or designing surveys that would be able to be sent out, and then they could respond to them and help us get feedback on what we could do better as a company to better serve their needs. I also had the opportunity to spend a lot of time working in spreadsheets. I don't love spreadsheets very much. They're not the most exciting thing. It's a bunch of columns and rows of information that I have to deal with. So our little company had acquired another company, and with that, we had to merge a lot of information, a lot of data, and be able to make this company acquisition happen. So I had to go through and I had to look up these businesses and find out where they were and try to make all the information that we had as united as possible, as cohesive as possible. And that was not the most fun. I'm going to be real. I spent a lot of time working on that spreadsheet, and it was all right. But then there was something that was a lot more fun. I will say this. I got to deal with merch. And if you don't know what merch is like clothes or pens or cups or things like t-shirts that have our company logo on it. so that we can give it out to people and they can wear it around and be free advertising for us. But they also get a cool little product. And we would usually take those to like conferences where a bunch of different tech companies would get together and they would share their products, show what they do, and they'd give these things out so that people would remember them. So I got to deal with a lot of merch. We had this merch closet. I would go through, I would do inventory, I'd count it, see what we had. And then after that, we had this really cool event where we were doing a big online event because it was still COVID. COVID was really big at this point. So we were doing an online conference so that people from all over the world could attend and learn and find out more about our products. And they had this competition going where people would play these games, and that was a part of kind of what our company did. We had this service where people could learn, they could train their employees on new policies and rules and things that they need to know by using games. So we had people trying out this service, trying out the games, and people with the highest scores every week would get sent a shirt. So I was in charge of shipping out those shirts. I would get a list of names that would say, okay, this person won this game, this one, that one. And then I would go and I would package up the size of shirts. I would print out the mailing labels, the shipping labels, paste them on or stick them onto a box. And then I would put them out in the mail and they'd get shipped off to where they needed to go. So that was a lot more fun. I enjoyed that because I got to work with the actual merchandise, the merch. It was super fun. And one of the best parts of that was we had this grand prize. And the grand prize is like the biggest prize you can get, the biggest offering. So whoever had won the most amount of times in this period of this conference over the few weeks that we did it, they got the grand prize. And the grand prize was really cool. There were, I believe, 3 signed guitars from really big bands. There was Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, and AC/DC. So I got to work with these guitars that had been signed by the band members, and I got to ship those out. I got to figure out how to package them, ship them to the people that won. And then not only was it these guitars, but there was also vinyl records. And a vinyl record is like one of those old CDs. I don't know if this is super common in Vietnam, but they're really cool. They're these big vinyls, and there are all these different bands, all these cool old rock bands from America, as well as Europe and different places. But these bands had signed them. So I was working with all these signed vinyl records, and I figured out how to package those and ship those out as well. And I would say definitely that was one of my favorite parts about working as an intern at that company, because I love music. So it was really cool to connect with these bands in this way. Even though I didn't meet the bands themselves, I got to work with their guitars and their music, and it was super cool, super fun. I enjoyed that a lot. Another part about this job is at this time I didn't have a car, so I was riding my bike everywhere. So I just had this little bike, and I would bike a few miles, which, let's see, that was probably about 4 to 5 kilometers a day. So I'd be biking there and back, and it was great. It was a 9 to 5 job, so I would be working from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. It's a pretty standard work load, and it was only a couple days a week, so it wasn't every single day, but it was great to get the experience. But sometimes I was really tired because I wasn't working just one job. I was working 2 jobs. So I was also working at a pool. And that one was not a desk job. I was working as a maintenance worker. So what I did was I would get there early around 5:30 a.m. and I would open the pool and I'd start cleaning it and getting it ready for all the public swimmers to come and swim. So I would go out and I would sweep the sidewalks, I would trim trees, I would vacuum the bottom of the pool, and it was kind of not the most fun work, but I did enjoy it more than sitting at a desk, because I was able to be outside around other people where the air was fresh. And I don't know, I enjoy manual labor a little bit. It's not always the most fun, but it was enjoyable for me because I had a lot of friends there as well. I liked to hang out with my friends and talk with them while I was working. So yeah, I did that over this summer period. It was about 3 months where I worked at the pool and I worked as an intern. And both of these jobs were different, but they both gave me experience and helped me kind of see where I want to go in the future, find things that I like to do and things that I maybe don't love as much, and try to find more career opportunities where I can work doing what I love to do. By the end of the summer, I had decided that I was leaving to volunteer for my church and help other people around the world. That's why I ended up working in Vietnam. And then before I did that, I had to give my 2 weeks notice. So I don't know if this is normal all over the world. It might be. I don't know if it's just an American thing, but typically before you leave a job, it's good to leave a 2 week notice. So you go into your boss and you say, I need to leave this job, I'm quitting. You might not say it exactly like that, but you say, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be gone, just so they know, and then they can plan to fill the space that you're going to leave in the company. So that's what I did. I put in my 2 weeks and then I left, and that was kind of the summer before I started doing volunteer work. Hopefully this has been enjoyable to listen to, and hopefully you've understood a lot of this new vocabulary, because when you're talking about business, there's a lot of new words and there's a lot of different words that you'll use. Just because it's a business setting, it's a little bit more professional, as opposed to when you're speaking with your friends, you're not going to be talking the same way. But yeah, chúc mai mắn học tiếng Anh nha.